Yeah, you're trying to keep them back and out towards the edges of your feet just slightly. Yep. So functional capacity, functional demand seesaw is starting to go up. So your functional capacity is starting to be higher. Yeah? It's okay if you're still not sure. So some of you are repeating the program, so you definitely would have seen an increase in that. Some of you are only 4 weeks in, so it's a bit of a journey. Yeah. So if that functional capacity is going up, does everybody remember that idea or the concept that we then have a bit more of a buffer? Yeah? Okay, so if your functional capacity is going up, you have that buffer there. What happens to your demands? What can they start to do now? If your functional capacity is going up, can your demands go up?
Your demands to increase.
Yeah, you can start to add things back in. And what you'll then start to see, I'm just doing this visually, everybody's remember the graph going up about your journey, so you're going to have spikes up and down. So if you are adding in more tasks, so you're increasing your demands again, this is something that we definitely encourage, but you do need to make sure that you're not trying to jump 3 steps ahead and just acknowledge that you're still on your journey. Hey, Bondu, how you going? So if prior to this program, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you used to play golf every weekend. And then whatever happens, you have your injury or you take that away and you decide, yeah, I want to play golf again, I'm feeling good. Would you go out and do 18 holes and try to spend the whole day? Probably not, no. You just want to slowly test the waters, and we recommend that you do try and bring those things back in that you love, but just don't try and jump ahead too quickly, because we're still learning a lot about our bodies and our rehab, and if we do have a flare-up sometime at this point, it can be quite scary still, and you can go, oh my god, it's not working, everything's going wrong, everything that I've done, it's not, I give up. You're going to have those flare-ups, but you'll find they'll get further and further apart, and you'll have better ways of managing them. Okay, so that's really important to remember with your capacity and demand.
Another thing with that is it doesn't have to be a physical task as well.
Yeah.
It could just be stress related with work or with family, and it can be a simple thing as sitting at a desk for a longer period of time as well. So it's not just the physical things you're bringing back into your life.
Yeah, really good point. What about week number 3? Talk about pain signs. Everybody remember that talk? We had a square on the board. There was a name or a word in each square. Did anybody tell me the 4 types of pain?
No, but I know there's a spider in one of them.
Yeah. Good. Okay, cool. This is the stuff we want to know. What do you remember? What stood out? Okay, you remember the spider.
Yeah,
what was the spider related to?
It's that fear that you have, so you therefore don't attempt, or you attempt wrongly because you're afraid of what may happen.
It's
For me, in the pain. So when I went back to where I was 2 weeks ago, I actually physically remembered that, because it's just like, suddenly I don't want to do something because I'm afraid of the pain.
Yeah, so your mind's already telling you before you even approach the task that is going to hurt. Yeah.
And yet when I did it properly, it didn't. So it's that barrier sometimes that's hard to come across, get across.
So does any it started with a C?
So you got centralised. So it was inflammation, neuropathic.
Yep.
Nociceptive. Yeah.
And what was the last one we were just talking about?
Inflammatory.
Oh, that's inflammatory. Yeah. So but what was Tina just speaking about the spider? It was in red. Yeah. Central pain. Yeah. And that central pain for most of you is something that is never been explored or spoken about, and is a brand new concept. Okay. And so
although it takes 3 months, even though it's brand new.
To develop, yeah, so a brand new concept in the sense that it probably in your previous therapies, so if you've had physio, if you had acupuncture, you've never spoken to somebody about what is central pain. And so you're still getting an understanding of what that is and how it affects you. And central pain, the concept of central pain and what it is, applies to a lot of things, not just your back. So if you have, fear about something and your mind or your memory, your brain goes, I remember that happening and that caused me pain, and so you're cautious about that thing, might not be, could be anything.
So is
Be
it
like-
psychological?
No, it's not so. It's tricky. Dr. Johnson, want to jump in here?
Consider it like an overreaction.
Yeah.
So it's not psychological in the sense that we can counsel you out of the centralized pain. It's neurophysiological, but it's a maladaptive neurophysiological response. So just say someone has Parkinson's disease and they can't move their body properly with Parkinson's disease. It's a neurological dysfunction. So you can't counsel someone out of Parkinson's disease because there's something wrong with the way that the nerves are giving those messages to your muscles.
Mhm.
So you would never say to someone with Parkinson's disease, oh, you've got a psychological problem. You've got a neurological problem. But the centralized pain that George is talking about is a problem that comes out when we ignore those really important three adaptive pain mechanisms that we talked about. So the inflammatory, neuropathic, and nociceptive, those are adaptive pain mechanisms that are really important for your body because they're telling you something, hey, don't do that anymore. But if you go along for 3 months, 6 months, 6 years with constantly activated nociceptive, inflammatory, and neuropathic pain, your brain then goes, okay, well, this person, my body is not doing anything about this pain, so I'm gonna reset the new set point for normality, which means that you're now living in constant pain because you didn't action correct treatment years ago or months ago. So it's a pathological neurophysiological state.
So say if it was a phantom, you wouldn't be able to counsel someone out of a phantom pain.
Totally not. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's it. And phantom
Good
pain
example.
is a sense of, that's a type of central pain. Even though, say I had a crushed foot and I chopped it off after 5 years of putting up with a crushed foot pain, now I don't even have a foot, but I still have pain because it's a neurophysiological response. Like, you can't counsel me out of that. That's where the brain connections are starting to talk to them. And sorry, George, I know I'm taking your time, but there are some medications that help people with central pain. NDEP, amitriptyline, tricyclic antidepressants, ketamine, cannabis, believe it or not. Okay, it's not legal, but why does that work for people? Because it's modifying the neurophysiology. Just like if someone has Parkinson's disease, we give them dopamine, and suddenly the tremor's not as bad. Okay, so it's a functional problem with the nervous system. We don't want our back pain patients to develop that functional disturbance. But if you guys have friends or family that are saying, oh, I'm getting back pain, it's good now, and it comes back again, it's good now, it comes back again, and that happens over and over again, what will happen in their brain is that they'll develop these abnormal communications. And then before you know it, they're now in chronic pain with central elements of pain. Sorry, back to you.
So what do we do?
Can that be also considered as chronic pain syndrome?
Yes, central pain is a chronic pain syndrome. Yeah, you wake up every day with it. Yeah, absolutely.
So if the start to build our functional capacity, we have a base of movement proficiency. What is that doing with our central nervous system?
Retraining it.
Training, rewiring it. Yeah. Cool. We'll leave that there. The final topic, which should be fresh in your mind from Monday, was the neutral spine education session. Do you remember we had a barbell out the front? We had a pen for you guys? Yeah. What stood out for anybody about that, the neutral spine? So first question or first thing was probably covered about the S curves of your spine. Yep. And the function there. What is the purpose of our spine having S curves? Or neutral? Neutral, yeah.
what's
So
neutral?
what is, if we have an S curve in our spine, what does it help us do? What about absorbing shock and force, or sending shock and force through the body? Yeah, cool. And so if
So what was that?
I have it,
Oh, your distribution of load.
so if we have our barbell set up and I can pick 60 kilos off the ground with a neutral spine? Am I moving in a safe and strong way? Yeah. What if I pick up a pen without a neutral spine? Like this? No. Okay. Can I do that every now and then?
No.
If I have
If you
a
build up
buffer? If I move really well for 90% of my day, my life? Yeah. Cool. So we're not always going to move perfectly. That's okay. We understand that. What are we doing in this program? We're giving you the foundations of essentially perfect movement, and then you'll adapt to it as you progress. So what we want to see is that you, at this point in time, you need to know that the difference between you picking up a pen or a pencil and the way that you approach the kettlebells that we put out for you, those mechanics right now need to be the same. Okay. You need to be thinking about these points of performance throughout your day-to-day movements. Everybody's starting to get to a point where they can sort of just go through like a quick assessment of the task that they need to do and think about these points. Like, can you move from your hips? Yeah. Good. I will keep referring back to the points of performance because they give you rules to follow, which help you apply. You can apply it to most of your movements throughout your day. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have any questions over any of those topics up to this point? Any lingering confusion?
All good.
But yeah,
No, I
Excellent.
thought I saw you raise your hand for a question.
No, I was just taking the time. Yeah. You guys have got it really well, and that was a fantastic explanation of the main points from Georgia there. Really pleased with that. That's wonderful.
It's really good for us to know what you actually take away. So for Tina, she remembered the spider because we do a lot of talking at you, and we like to know it's completely normal. You know that if you have someone talking in front of you for even longer than 30 seconds, what you actually take away from that is quite minimal. There might be one or two things that stood out. So any type of concept that you can remember is really useful for us as well, because then we go, okay, those are the things that are standing out to people, and we'll make sure that that's reinforced.
It's an easy word to remember.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. So
Some of the other ones are
there's
like, oh my god.
there's a lot of medical words being thrown about, and for most of you, again, that's what has happened with your bodies and how you've ended up in where you are now has never really been explained to you. All it's been is like, let's put a band-aid on, let's just try and cover it up. Yeah. So now you really, the goal, like we've explained before, is to make sure that you leave every time here you have a better understanding of your body and how you're moving, and that what you learn in the 8-week program is skills and tools that you apply for the rest of your life. So it's not an 8-week challenge. It's not a 8-week sort your life out, change your food, and then go back to bad habits. It's you're putting movement in your good movement bank, so that in 20, 30 years time, you're like, oh yeah, glad I learned how to pick something up, or glad I understood that my balance is really important because now I'm independent and I can keep doing the things that I want to do. Yeah. All right. So we've got lots to cover today. We're going to go straight into our warm-up, which is great. You've all got your broomsticks. So we're going to start with 10 hip hinges, and then we'll go into 10 power overs up on doing this one. So just
Spread out, guys.
spread out, team.
Also, there are videos on YouTube about those concepts that Dr. Johnson has done. If you ever want to look at it again.
So we'll work on them today, but unloaded knee position, remember, means knee